Brilliance Audio presents Breath from Salt, a deadly genetic disease, a new era in science, and the patients and families who changed medicine forever. By Bijal P. Trivedi. Performed by Deepti Gupta. It isn't often that a journalist has the opportunity to chronicle a revolution. Not a singular discovery or incremental advance, but a true sea change in science and medicine, all in real time. When I was assigned to write a piece for Discover magazine in 2012 about what the U.S. Food and Drug Administration described as a breakthrough therapy for cystic fibrosis, I thought the story was simple: a rare and deadly disease, a promising new drug, and a bright future for thousands of suffering children. But over the course of a few months, I realized that what I'd seen at first was just the tip of the iceberg. This story was much deeper, much more special, and had implications that reached far beyond this disease. Cystic fibrosis, or CF, is a fatal inherited lung disease that once killed nearly every child born with it before their first birthday. The disease destroys the pancreas and fills victims' lungs with a thick, suffocating mucus that starves them of air and allows bacterial infections to thrive and destroy their airways. And it's one of the few conditions that causes extremely salty sweat. People with CF have trouble extracting nutrients from the food they eat, but ultimately, it is the lung infections that kill. This newly approved medicine was the first treatment that fixed the disease's underlying cause. Like most students who have ever taken a biology course, I had heard of cystic fibrosis. It's described in introductory texts as the most common genetic disease among Caucasians, and featured as an example of disease caused by a mutation in a single gene. One copy of a mutated cystic fibrosis gene makes a person a carrier, a symptom-less vehicle for deadly genetic cargo. If two carriers have a child, there is a 1 in 4 chance that the child will inherit a bad copy from each parent and be born with the disease. And though the disease itself is rare, affecting only 30,000 in the U.S., 1 in 29 Caucasians and 1 in 35 Americans overall are carriers. In 1989, when I was still in college, scientists identified the gene mutation that causes cystic fibrosis. Everyone expected a cure would follow, but it didn't. Efforts to develop therapies withered. Angry, disappointed parents, their hopes crushed, were left to watch their children die. And by the mid-1990s, cystic fibrosis was deemed incurable. That prognosis seemed to be reversed, at least for some, with the FDA's 2012 approval of this new drug, Kalydeco. What made Kalydeco's development possible, I discovered, was that, at first, it wasn't paid for with stockholders' money or investments from corporate giants. Instead, the nonprofit Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, based in Bethesda, Maryland, had somehow come up with hundreds of millions of dollars to support its earliest development.